So it was a double-decker bus. So I had a huge window in front of me. And that's why I was able to take a photo of this one, and then just the sunset and the stars. So yeah, itong doxology, if you've heard of it, okay. It starts with some cascading lines. So yan yung parang mga stars na nakikita ko, and then yeah, story behind that one. Anyway,
Siguro,
another one.
siguro
Sorry?
sir, parinig mo sa amin para magkaroon kami ng idea. Kahit short.
Short, okay. Stop share. I don't have an example. Hold on. I'm not sure if I have a file. Teka lang. Give me...
Sige lang, sir. Take your time.
Ito, sa ano lang. Online. Can you start lang? Let's listen to the start. Okay, share screen. Share. Yeah. Yeah, so this is a recording from my album Ephonos. Ayan. So that's doxology, you know. It was inspired from a bus ride in Argentina. And then another one, I think you are all familiar with this. Ayan. So this is Ama Namin. I was planning to use it as an example, but you actually showed it earlier in the intro. This was Bali inspired. I wrote this whilst I was in Bali. So a Bali sunrise, to be exact. So I was staying in the middle of the rice fields, and then, you know, it was just so quiet, serene, and you'll hear the roosters crowing. So if you notice the idea there behind the solos, no? It's like the roosters crowing. Nagtitilaok ng mga manok. And then on bar 16, and then that's where the sunrise starts to, the sun comes out from the horizon. Shall we listen to it or no? I think you are all familiar with this one. So let's move on to the next. Yeah, but that's the idea behind this Ama Namin. Oops. Okay. Now, after knowing those three, after knowing our plan, our performers, and then we have our ideas, it's time to write. Ayan. Second hardest part. Because, you know, yeah, it's easy. I think it's easy to have ideas in mind, but, you know, when you write it down to paper, or when you encode it into the music software, no, it's just hard. So what I usually suggest is spend time writing, no, improvise, sit down in front of the piano, like 10 minutes a day or 5 minutes a day, you know, just improvise, see something, malay mo, you can create a few bars. And then if you have created a few bars, then just write down and then move on. The problem with this is that when we've written something and then we already criticize it, we critique it already. It's like we say that, oh, it sounds not nice, it sounds boring, it sounds cheesy, I'm just gonna change it again. Until if you write something again, do it again, like edit, and then yun na-stuck ka na. You're stuck in that position. So what I suggest is just write down what you have written and then move on. Move on to the next. And then continue exploring. And then experiment, no? And then you combine all the ideas that you've written. Then that's where you edit your work. You critique your work. And then never underestimate the power of editing. Yan, that's the process. And then write again. So ayan, it's very repetitive. You just start from the top, then once you reach the bottom, go to the top again. It's very repetitive. So if you're stuck, make sure that you move on. That's important. I know hearing this the getting started phase is quite overwhelming, no? But there's so many factors to consider. But when you zoom out in a macro perspective, it happens simultaneously and it happens really fast. I just had to dissect it and put it in a ano ba? In a way that it can be understand easily, no? So yan, plan, we think, plan of have a structure, what's going to happen in your work, and then think of your performers. And then that's where you gather the ideas and then write. So in my opinion, I find it easier for me to finish or to get the job done, to write, finish a work when I have my plan. It's also important that you can always, the plan isn't fixed, no? It's always dynamic. You can always deviate from it. Basta importante, when you get lost, you go back to the plan. Yan. And then you deviate if you can. And then if not, at least we have, our skeleton. Okay. Do you have, I think maybe we'll save the questions for later. Now, let's talk now about some elements that you can use for your arrangements. So what are those elements? Can anyone tell me the elements of music? O plus 10 points daw sa exam. Sa class ni Sir Pot.
Yeah, music major.
Elements of music.
Elements of music, very basic.
Yeah, give me one.
Melody.
Melody?
Harmony.
Yes. Harmony, yes.
Rhythm. Rhythm
Yes.
po.
Meter.
Rhythm, yes. Okay, at least at least we know the elements of music. Now, we'll start with melody. Yeah, so melodic elements. Can someone tell me in your own words what is melody?
I think the idea of the song, sir.
There's no wrong here. So yes, melodic elements, or if we go technically, it's the linear or the horizontal representation of pitches. Representation of pitches. Now for our melodic element, I like to incorporate familiar melodic lines in some of my works, in my especially arrangements. No, I use it as a theme, or I use that melodic line as an ostinato or as an accompaniment phrase. Now, I have here some samples. This song, since it's Christmas, so most of I just noticed that most of my works are are Christmas works. So this is it's not a familiar Christmas piece, no? But for the accompaniment of this song, this is inspired from Satie's Gymnopedy. Let's listen to it. Yeah, so if you notice, I kind of just used that Satie feel there. And then another one here. Let's see if you would note, if you would guess where I got that familiar melodic line. Yan. So can anyone tell me if it sounds familiar? Come de tolbi param pam pam. Do you Is it familiar? That line?
Yes.
Where is it from?
Circle of Life.
Lion King.
Yes, from Lion King. So since the idea behind this one is it's inspired from the African Noel. So since Little Drummer Boy, I kind of used the call from Lion King. And then another example. Let's see if you could guess the song. Oops, ay, nakita yung ano. Anyway, so anong song yon? What's the title of that song?
Stille Nacht.
Yeah, so it's Silent Night, but I forgot to pause the video. Now the secret's been revealed. So actually it's not Silent Night, no. It is I just use Silent Night as an intro for this work. Sana ngayong Pasko. Yeah, so I like using this one because it gives the listeners an element of surprise. Yeah, that's always what I think. No, something. What can I offer? Something new or that element or that surprising element that I thought it's when they hear this one, it's like okay, they will be singing Silent Night, but then again when the melody comes in, it's a different piece. Yeah, something like that. Anyway, moving on. For melodic elements, also melodic reassignment. This is great because as we all know, voices have different characteristics, no? So it has different colors, the timbre and character then. So soprano is different from alto and tenor and basses. We have certain qualities, no? Also, it makes it more interesting if the melody is sung by different voices and again provides opportunities for other singers. It's a nice break from the usuals, which is the soprano always the star. So it's nice also to give chance for the altos and bass, especially altos and basses. Yan, melodic reassignment. So here I have an example. Oops. This is sa Ugoy ng Duyan performed by the King Singers. Ayan. If you notice, so the bar goes from the baritone, tenor, then the countertenor. No, all three voices have different characteristics. No, have different timbres. Now, and for melodic element, last, like to use unison and octaves. No, I think when we think that singing unison is easy, but it's actually more difficult than it is. It also helps the group to sing more as one, and it promotes heightened listening also to the listeners. No? Kala natin it's easy to sing unison, but actually hindi. Mahirap din siya gawin. And also, the use of octaves gives you an opportunity to emphasize the melody. Also, it highlights the melody in a thicker treatment and also elevates it from the background, from the accompaniment. I have here an example. Yeah, so it highlights the melody. Now, this is from You Will Be Found from Dear Evan Hansen, the musical. The audio starts in bar 53 with a red circle. So yeah, if you see there, I doubled the melody with a sopranos and altos, and this is on the forte side. To achieve that, I wanted, and for a clearer melody, so I used the octaves. Let's listen to it. Ayan. Also, I'm gonna plug inviting you on December 5 and the Match at Al Festival and support our group, the Sonos Voices of Hope. Yeah, we will be premiering this work on the festival. So ayan, kayo yung first naka sneak peek sa work nito. Anyway, moving on. Now, we move on to harmonic elements. Now, anyone wants to define harmony in your own words? What is harmony?
Fills in the emptiness of the melodic line.
Wow, I like that that definition, no? Yes, it's a combination of pitches, no? If the melody is horizontal, this one is the vertical representation of the pitches. And combining these pitches, it produces chords. Okay. Now, explore the chords. So many ways to do it. So use inversions. It's a nice alternative using rather than the first position. No, it makes the sound lighter. No, as compared to the first position, it's very it's grounded. No, it's fuller. It's a nice way to use inversions and then their extensions, the use of clusters and dissonances. And then here, I came across this website, when Paul Jacobs. You can check that one out later. But I took a screenshot of the diagram. So there, it's written all the possible combinations in a chord. So they have the chord type there, the formula and the symbols, and the notes included as well. There's just so many chords to choose from. And actually, sa sobrang dami niya, you can actually create a piece in key of C already by just using one chord, no? But after all that, yes, we know that there's so many chords to choose from. It really all boils down to our preference, and of course, if it will suit the arrangement, no? It's okay to go crazy, but to put all notes there, but just keep in mind the appropriation. No? Will it fit the harmonic palette of your work or of the arrangement? No, for example, you've been writing very basic chords, and then suddenly in the middle part or in the ending, you put some jazz chords. Parang na out of place bigla. So always keep that in mind. No, appropriation. Now that we have our chords, so try different approaches to laying out them. No? Arpeggiate. Yan. So, ayan, another question. Phone-in question. What is arpeggio? Your own words.
Broken chords.
Yes, exactly. So arpeggio is a broken chord where notes are broken into sequences. It can be in rising or descending. Now, it's one of the usuals. Many arrangements have this. It's easy to do and it's highly effective. But there are many ways to break the chords. One is through bell chords. I like this. I use this a lot. It gives a mysterious approach to the, it makes the listeners think, no, especially when you use it as an intro. I'll show some examples later. And then one of my favorites is pedal point. The use of pedal point. Okay, another phone-in question. So what's a pedal point? Para we can refresh our theory here. In your own words, come on. Pedal point. Oh, Google. Pedal point it's a sustained tone, di ba? It's usually for bass and through successive parts which has different harmonies. It's sounded in other parts. I use this one to prolong the arrangement or prolong certain part. It's also a nice pivot point for modulation. And I love using this one because it makes the arrangement smoother, no, as compared to doing leaps. Okay, for the examples, for the arpeggiation, this is Sipi Limon. I hope everyone knows it. It's a Visayan folk song sung by the University of Visayas. Oops, sorry. Okay. And then for the bell chord, it's basically same as arpeggiation, but you just sustain the notes like a bell. Let's listen to this one. Yeah, as I've mentioned earlier, it creates this ethereal effect, and then also sparks interest, no? Parang curiosity sa listeners. Like, okay, wow, it sounds when they first hear this intro, it's like, what song are they singing? No, it sounds something new, and it's not the usual, chord progression of this song. And then when they hear the music, boom. So another element of surprise. Same thing also here, hanggang langit. And then for the pedal point, this is Sampurna. Just take note of the bass line there. Oops. Ano ba yan? Let's listen to it. So you see if the bases are staying in C, and then yeah, it just makes it more smooth the whole passage smoother as compared if I do the leaps on the bass note. This was sung by the Time Ensemble. It's the alumni of the World Youth Choir. Okay, keep also in mind that to have balanced tensions and releases. I mean, it's always nice to have a contrasting touch to your works. No, it's not always consonances. Also, just put some dissonances as well. No, it makes it more. It spices up the arrangement. No, and also makes it more interesting. Okay. Anybody knows? I think everyone knows this hymn, "Greatest Thy Faithfulness." Yeah. So here I made a reharmonization. This shows that by choosing certain notes, you can alter your harmonic journey. No, so the top system is from the hymnal. It's very basic, and then the version 2 is the reharmonization. Let's listen to it. Again, you are free to use all sorts of chords that you want to use. You can choose your harmonies. Just keep in mind the functionality of these harmonies, and I think I highly recommend to be intuitive as well, uh, and just follow or go through the natural tendency of the flow or the cadence of the harmonies of these harmonies. Ayan. Now we move on to rhythmic elements. Ayan. So rhythm meaning the element of time. Now another thing I like to do is alter and play the rhythmic value of the melody. So how do we do that one? So we can also turn fast songs into a slow one. By doing this, we create a different character, that treatment. Sometimes when we make it the other way around, it becomes exciting, and of course, it would feel like a new song. Here is Diwa ng Pasko. Oops. Okay. Anyone knows this song? Do you know this song, Diwa ng Pasko? Masta natin ang sinag ng talatan, tatan, tatan, tatan. It's a traditional Filipino song. So anyway, what I did here was I got the main melody. Sorry. Anyway, so I got here the melody, dissected it, and played with it. So I altered and just made it much more fun and exciting. So let's listen to this one. Yan. Anyway, yeah, so that's the idea behind it. Another example here is Katurog na Nonoy. It's a Bicolano lullaby song. The original song is in 3/4. However, I did it in 4/4 because I just wanted to have that different treatment also, and it has this prolongation effect. And of course, a different feel, no? Let's listen to this one. And last but not the least, again, turning fast songs to slow or slow into fast ones. But this one is, I think you have heard this one the last time I was here during the quarantines. So this is from Spice Girls. Kilala pa ba natin ang Spice Girls? But anyway, they were very famous during the 90s. No, it's a girl band. This is Wannabe. It's very fast if you know the original version. But this one is a jazzy one, a very slow chill.
My friends making it out. If you wanna be my lover, you gotta get with my friends. Make it last forever. Friendship never ends. If you wanna be my lover, you have got to give. Taking is too easy. That's the way it is. If you wanna be my love.
Ayan. Okay. Okay, and next. So yeah, after you play with the rhythmic value of the melody, turn fast songs into slow. Yes, it does create a different character and feels like a new song. And for our rhythmic element, last is the use of space and rest. Now, what do we mean by this? Meaning space. So it doesn't have to be, everyone doesn't have to be at the start. You can prolong their entrances, so delay their entrances. No, give time for singers to breathe, and then sometimes the use of rest, syempre, they will be able to rest. It won't be tiring for them. And if it's a fast song, it makes it more interesting as well, and challenging and fun. Now, for example, this is Sampung Mga Daliri. It's a children's play song. Yan. It's very it was commissioned for a competition piece. That's why the difficulty is above average. Let's listen to it. Ayan. Yeah, so make sure to give your singers when writing, no, have that space, time for them to breathe and rest as well. And last but not the least, so kaya pa ba? Textural and dynamic elements. Now, we'll talk about the number of lines. No, number one, I love the playing of the text. Text helps us in defining and adding that flavor to our work, because certain languages carry certain nuances, no. Parang sometimes if the song is in original Spanish and then you translate it into English, parang nawawala yung nawawala yung natural, ano ba? That aura or the feel will be different, no? If it will be like that. I think it's also same in same in when watching in Netflix or movies, no? If for example, mga K-drama, if you watch it in English, parang hindi iba yung dating, di ba? So play of text, yan, language is important. Now, use of other syllables. Think of other ways, especially for our accompaniments. Usually that, di ba parati na lang do, or we always use do or da, something like that. And then use of words, no, makes it legato. It can make the accompaniment legato, and it can also be percussive. It's also a nice substitute for the usual syllables. Yeah, let's listen to these samples that I have shown. This is Payapang Daigdig. It's a Christmas song. Ayan, maybe you were wondering, wow, okay, the accompaniment has different vowels. Why is it like that? One, my reason for, I have an idea behind it. So the reason is I wanted different textures, but mainly it's actually a solfa syllable, no? It's do, re, mi, fa, sol, la, si, do. However, I changed the first letter to L. So lo, le, li, la, lo, la, li, lo. So if you're seeing sol, so it's lo. And then if you're singing la, it's la. And then si, li, lo, le, li, la, lo, la. So that's the reason behind that one. So yeah, be creative in using different syllables. No, it will be it will give you a nice texture. Oops. And then for the word example, here this is the Sana Ngayong Pasko. Earlier you heard this one. So yeah, what I did was I put some lyrics on the ATB. Why? Because it gives the singers something, the feeling of they are doing something rather than just singing the accompaniment in a or u. No, if you sing that line, they can treat it as if it's like it's also a melody. So try sing this tenor line. Sana'y maalala mo. Yeah, so by doing this one, you'll transform the dull lines into an interesting one, like a melody, no? Parang the other singers would feel they weren't left behind, you know, just singing the accompaniment. Para may importance din sila bigla. And also another sample here, it's Hello from Adele, by Adele. Yeah, there. So it's written for two choirs. First choir is pulsating, like gives that percussive treatment. Okay, moving on. So play of text. Okay. There's so many things that you can do with just text, no? So play with it, explore with it. Next one is figuration or use of motifs. Again, motif is it's a short musical idea that builds up a phrase. Now, what you can do is you can use the melody as a motif, or you can create one yourself, no? By using these motifs, you can put it in several sections of the piece, which makes it cohesive. It will sound cohesive. Now, for an example here, okay, Namamasko. This is another Christmas song. Does everyone know this song? So actually, ito yung song na Sa May Bahay Ang Aming Bati. Sa May Bahay Ang Aming Bati. Mga kinakanta sa carolings, no? Sa mga villages. Ay, Namamasko pala ang title nun. So you might just get confused. But yeah, this is Namamasko. So here I actually created my own theme, a figure, a motif. I got it from the Sa May Bahay. So if you see there, there are lots of Sa May Bahays all over. And then I kind of used the Falalalala. I wanted to combine that idea because Falala is very Western, no? When you hear it, parang it sounds like a Western Christmas carol. So I kind of just mashed it together. Let's listen quickly because for later I'll let you listen the whole. Yeah, so that is one. And then Old Lang Syne. Again, a traditional one. As a motif, I used the alto line, alto one, the lelo, lelo, lelo. That was my motif. So you'll hear those figures all throughout the piece. Let's just listen to the intro. And then fast forward to the ending, and to the mid. There, you'll also hear it somewhere in the middle, no? And then towards the ending as well. Listen to it. Yeah, so my tip is when introducing or using motifs, don't just use it once, no? You recycle it, put it in different places in your arrangement, no? Para may familiar sounding na themes. Hindi lang siya ginamit once, but use it several times. And last but not the least, the articulations and dynamic markings. Yan. Never forget. Hashtag never forget. No? It also defines the work. Yan. So put staccatos if needed, no? The marcatos, some legato markings. And also the contour. No? Plan where to peak, where to put the peak or the climax. There's this work, it's still away. It's African American spiritual. I think it was arranged by Jonathan Rathbone, a member of the King Singers. When I heard it, it was all plain, pianissimo on the whole piece. But on that part where there's this 5 or 2 bars, probably 2 bar, 5, 10 second, where it just explodes and then it dies down again like that. It's just effective, highly effective, so beautiful. So again, plan your contour where to put the peak, no? Para hindi lahat nasa taas. It's not all in your face there. There's also some mellow parts. Okay, I think that's it for our elements. And for the last part of this talk, it's important also to talk about some challenges, no, and some reminders. Again, avoid too much elements. That's where our planning comes in, no? That's why it's important also to have that plan. We see na until up to this point lang tayo, no? Probably you can add 1 to 3 elements and then develop it, no? Again, and another one is avoid endless singing. As I've said earlier, the use of space and rest. Don't be afraid of the silence. Think of your singers, no? Your singers will definitely thank you dahil hindi sila napagod. They won't become tired when singing your work. And avoid sempre pasadyo. Imagine 20 bars or 30 bars all in the upper register or in your pasadyo range, no? Especially if it's uncalled for. So same here, no? You put yourself in the feet, or the shoes rather. Put your feet in the shoes of your singers. Again, your singers will thank you. So vary the range, no? Put it somewhere at the top, at the higher range, and then at the low range. Mix it para something it won't be tiring for them. So with that in mind, so keep this in your things to keep in mind. Be an empathetic writer, not a pathetic one. Okay, so sing it. I always tell this to myself. No, if you can sing it, then yes, probably then write it. If you can't, then don't. That's my motto. But try it out, no, because sometimes, or ask a friend. Ask, for example, for a soprano, show the line, and then ask her, will this be too difficult or something like that? Ask. There's nothing wrong about that one, no. And put suggested breath marks strategically. Now this will help the conductor and the singers as well. And think as a performer and the conductor. So these are the questions you need to ask yourself. As a singer, do I want to sing this? Is it dull? Is it boring? Is it nice to sing? Is it easy? Ayan. How are the lines? Is it carefully written, no, with a singer in mind? Because sometimes the problem with digital writing, no, the piece becomes written for MIDI, not for voices. Yan ang problem, no? Parang masyado tayong, we become too excited, we become too crazy and put a lot of stuff, hard leaps especially, no? So ask yourself, check the leading notes, is it tiring? And then as a conductor, no, do I want it to include in my program? Is it interesting enough? Or will the audience enjoy it? Yan, is it interesting for my singers? And kamusta? And important sa that is the voice distribution okay? Baka mamaya, it's just too many voices in there and then, yun na, it's out of the picture already. Yeah. And last but not the least, don't overdo it. Ayan. Less is more. Have that, it makes sense feel why you made that line, why you created this particular passage like that. And then trust your performer and let your music speak through them. So to sum up, there are many elements and ways to 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 writing, no, and techniques to choose from. If you get lost along the way because you are very creative and you have so many ideas, again, check your plan. That's why it's always nice to have it, no? Like, and then one last I could tell you is that make an arrangement or make the piece an enjoyable experience for your singers as well. Because if the singers enjoy singing your piece, no, then the rest will follow. It will, the beauty of your work will come out naturally because, you know, the music making will be nice. They would love singing your song, and then the music that they will create will just um, the audience will hear it, and then from there the audience will enjoy that certain work, no? Yun yung aking palaging sinasabi sa sarili ko na yes, through that you will be able to touch your audience, no? Okay, so before I end this one, I like to end it with, again, ako'y namamasko sa inyong lahat. This is namamasko. If you closely look at the piece, you'll see all of the elements, mostly all of the elements that I have mentioned this morning. Okay, so happy listening. This is namamasko.
Sa may bahay, 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 ang aming bati. Merry Christmas na walwalhati, ang pag-ibig pag siyang naghari, araw-araw, ay magiging ang sanipon ng pagbarito, iipon ng aginaldo, kung sakaling kami perwisyo, pasensya na kayo, ang sanipon ng pagbarito, iipon ng aginaldo, kung sakaling kami perwisyo, pasensya na kayo, pasensya na kayo, kami namamasko. Sa may bahay ang pag-ibig, Merry Christmas, ang pag-ibig pag siya'y naghari, we wish you a Merry Christmas, we wish you a Merry Christmas, we wish you a Merry Christmas at namaso po. Merry Christmas po!
Merry Christmas po. And that concludes our talk for this morning. Thank you.
Okay,
All right.
there you go.
Oh, okay. Sir, before I turn it over to you, well, sir, you have given us so much than what we have expected to hear this morning. So, brain opener, you've fed us a lot of ideas, inspired us a lot of information. It's like eating in a restaurant and you just ordered what you want to eat, but you ordered more than what we wanted to taste because you know that everything is good. Everything that you give is good. And thank you so much for being generous with all your ideas, no? And sharing. You are lucky, no? Those who attended this free webinar, you are so lucky to be here. And at this point, we are going to have a question and answer portion. So if you have questions, do it now, no?
The use of different syllables in the harmony section. It was exemplified in bell tone singing. However, how many syllables is advisable to be used in one phrase for a simple choral arrangement?
Thank you, Andel. It's a good question. I think for me, it really depends on your singers, no? How many singers will be singing your work? If it's just a simple arrangement, for example, for four voices, then yeah, I mean, at least three could be. You could use at least three. So at least one would be singing the melody if there's a melody in it. But again, it really depends. It would depend on the number of singers that you have. But 3 to
No.
4, that would be enough.
Okay? Is that okay, Andal? Okay na? Yun. Thank you for that. And from a conductor's point of view, no? Parang, yeah, conducting class. Parang ganun din, no? Parang we need to base then yung choosing ng pieces natin. No? Kumbaga, hindi lahat ng areglo para sa choir mo. Okay?
Yes.
And then for a composer, arranger naman, if you want your songs to be really sung by many choirs, edi doon ka sa safe.
Yes, the generic one, which I showed earlier. No?
Yeah, the generic one. Okay, second question from our arranger namin to. Si Glenn De Leon. In composing, what do you write first? Is it the melody, harmony, or text?
Well, again, it varies. Sometimes in composing, definitely in composing, no, I try to look for a text first, and from there, that's where I plan. I kind of envision the music by the text. But sometimes the melody comes first. What I do is when melody just comes, I have, thank you for the phones, no, we have recorders. So what I usually do is I have a melody bank in my phone. I just sing the melody and then just save it. So sometimes when I wanted to write, I go through my bank and then, okay, I think I can use this melody for a certain text. So that's what the usuals that I do. But yeah, if you are asking, then text for me goes first. I hope I answered that question, Glenn.
Okay, thank you. So, importante pala may bank ka. Pag may narinig ka and then you think na magandang save it to your bank.
Unless you have a memory that, you can unearth that melody
Pwede mo na hugutin.
1 week. Good for 1 week.
Ayan. Next question from Gurnil Dalanon. Ano pong software gamit niyo?
I use Sibelius.
Anong software?
I use Sibelius for writing.
Anong version, sir? 1? Charot.
15. Advanced. I use the most advanced. Wala pa, hindi pa na-release. But yeah, I use Sibelius.
Ayan. So from Andal again, clarifications. Whose as are they mostly based on volume?
I don't but well, to start no, is an open vowel, so naturally it has a louder volume, no, as compared to u, and of course humming. So if you want to maximize the most voice that you can get, the most sound that you can get, of course, then use But again, you can also use in soft passages. You just have to put again the dynamic markings. So do not forget to put that one also. But yeah, I really don't uh, get your question, but I hope I answered your question, Andel.
Siguro from conductor's point of view din yan. No, kasi sometimes, especially sa chorus class namin, inaano namin na from U, and then let's say, from U, ang next syllable is A. Usually, kasi nga, since it's an open vowel sound, usually, ang layo ng talo ng dynamic level. No? So, parang careful dapat when you go to the A. No? So, yeah, siguro yun yung tanong ni Andel, are they mostly based on the volume? Well, naturally kasi ang effect niya is mahina pag closed vowel sound and then to open vowel sound. Okay? Ito. From Glenn again. In arranging, are you more intuitive?
Intuitive or more analytical?
Yeah. Do you consider
I
writing
am very intuitive, no? I think, especially in not just in arranging, especially in composing, sometimes I get feedback from the composers. They would ask me what's my idea behind it, and then they would analyze it, my works, and then show me. Tapos there are parts that ganito pala yung ginawa ko dito. So it's really nice to hear the feedback from the conductors who sing my work and show me this one. But yeah, I am very intuitive. Rules, it's nice to know the rules, but especially now, as I've said earlier, music is subjective and it really depends on you. If it sounds nice, I put it. If it doesn't sound appealing to me, then I won't. So yun.
Ayun. Okay, thank
I hope
you. Ayan, see, from Andel again. Sa mga arranger, ano lang, yung iba mag-question din kayo. What's your thought on textless choral arrangement or one-word arrangement throughout?
I actually like it. I love the idea. I have a song that is textless. It's all only in It's in Ephonos. You can listen to it in Spotify. It's with it's just for piano and the choir.
Okay. And then from Hope, how, when do you assign high pitch and low pitch?
What do you mean by when do I assign high pitch?
Do you assign high pitch for the basses? Hope, sige, ikaw
Can you
magtanong.
clarify, Hope?
Hope, I hope you're there.
For melodic line. How do I assign high pitch and low pitch? Okay. For the melodic assignment, you mean? Well, it depends on it really varies, no? Sometimes you can put the melodic line into the basses, and then you subdue the SAT, put the dynamic marks in piano so that the melody sung by the basses would be heard, no? That's an idea. But yeah, it really depends on you wherever you wish to put the melody. But for example, in passages like which is in forte, no? Syempre, you won't put the melody in the low register because it won't be heard. So yeah, we need to also think of that one, like the practicality of where to put the voices. But if it's in a piano setting or a normal vocal, yes, we can put it in the lower range.
Okay, thank you. Ito from Miriel. When you write, do you hear the jazz, chromatic, augmented chords in your head? Or do you start with basic chord progressions first and build it
I-
from there?
Unfortunately, I'm just a normal human being. I can't hear that one. I'm not yet an alien. Yeah, so I definitely start from the certain chords and I just play. Like I've said earlier, I improvise, I dabble in the keyboards and choose which notes would complement each other. No, that's where and then from there, I develop some jazzy lines and chords.
Ayan. How many questions more, ma'am? Ang pwede pa. Ayan.
Sige lang.
Maybe around 2 or 3 more.
Ayan, 2 or 3. I guess we have the 3 last questions here. Another one from them. Do you always align chords only on strong beats? Are there some lines or beats where you don't need to think of the chord? Or
Uh,
should every beat be according to a certain chord?
it depends on the song. However, I noticed if every chord should be on the beat, I kind of um parang nafi-feel ko na it's too alam mo yun, too boxed. Parang it's very clear kagad. But if you want to blur that ano ba yun? To blur that, to soften that box, and then you can overlap some chords and then resolve it somewhere. Hindi, it doesn't have to be like per beat, no? If you get
Ikaw
what I
pala.
mean.
Oh, nagbukas dyan. Ang pangit-pangit ng pagkabukas mo.
Yes, Emil. Yes, Emil. Ano yung pangit dyan?
Hi.
I-mute mo yan.
Naka-on yung mic mo.
Sorry po.
Ikaw talaga. Ayan. Ayan. Commercial break from Emil.
Commercial break.
Pangit.
Okay.
Okay. Another question. Next question from Ace. What was your thought process in composing the 23rd Psalm chord progression, especially the first parts?
What was your thought process in composing? The first thought I had in mind, it was actually an idea for at first I was thinking it as a solo piece, no, for soprano solo. And then eventually I said, oh, this would be nice for choir setting. Well, the chord progressions, I was actually just again dabbling in the keyboard and then just playing with combinations like and just see what the journey would be, no? And then eventually it led me to that one, to in Psalm 23. And it's just basically I just wrote it down. So again, back to the question, am I intuitive? Very intuitive. I don't really think of oh, this is tonic, I need to go to the dominant or the subdominant, something like that. No, I just write down whatever I feel, or I tend to go to the natural tendency of the cadence, the flow of the chord progressions.
Okay. Thank you. And for our final and last question from Andel. Regarding incorporating genre in an arrangement, do you learn it first, then use it, or it just comes naturally? What is your advice for early arrangers?
My advice is it comes through I think it comes through experience. And yeah, if you write a lot, then you learn which things or which arrangement would work and which doesn't, no? That's why that's why it's nice to have a choir or a person that can check your work and sing it, no? And to put it into practice. Because sometimes what we have in mind, especially as I've said earlier, things that are written, because the MIDI, the things that we hear in the software is different when it is sung already, no? So my advice is just continue to write it down, start from simple arrangements. And then from there, and then listen to different kinds of choral compositions and arrangements as well. And then learn from it, write down what you like, no? And write down what you don't like. And then from there, because otherwise, if you don't write, and then it's all in the head, no? Parang painting yan, parang cooking lang din yan eh. Like in any other field. Oh, I want to cook this one. I think it's yummy. But if you don't cook it, then how would you practice it, diba? So same thing also with arranging. So just don't be afraid, no? Just do it.
Okay. Yeah, so it's more of exposing yourself talaga. Gawin
Yeah.
mo, experiencing it, listen, write, ganun. Okay, there you go. Thank you again, Sir Ailey. And thank you, Emil, for the commercial break.
All right. I hope you're able to ask all your questions and receive good answers. I'd just like to open it for one question to some of our conductors from other places who are here right now. Maybe you want to ask a few questions for Sir Riley?
Go, just unmute yourselves na lang.
Unmute yourself if you want to ask. We have several alumni here who have joined us and some guests from other institutions. Okay, I think they are satisfied already with the presentation. You're all happy and you are all inspired by what Sir Ivy has shared with us. There or emoticon or your clapping emoticon to show our appreciation to Sir Ivy because